Hey, what is good, everyone? It's your favorite Supreme Leader, Cameron. And today we're coming at you with some NBA 2K24 news. And I'm not gonna lie, it seems like this game is already dead before it started. It's August 10th right now of recording, and Mike Wang still hasn't posted nothing. If you guys don't know, Mike Wang is the gameplay director for NBA 2K. He pretty much gives us all the news as the game starts to come out in terms of gameplay news. This is always the best news about NBA 2K before the game comes out. And as I said, as of August 10th, he hasn't dropped anything except one tweet saying still hard at work on 2K24, but we'll talk soon. One small tidbit for now. And then it's got a picture of him doing a quick drop with the RIP. So quick drops are out of the game, and I'm not sure if this is a good or a bad thing, because yes, the animation was OP, but the problem wasn't so much with quick drops, because quick drops have been in the game forever. It was just the simple fact that there was no defensive animation to guard it, so that once the quick drop activated, then there was no possible way of stopping it. I was also just editing this video, and as you can see, Mike Wang just posted, and there's a buy and then a picture of limitless takeoff. And limitless takeoff is not the problem in this game. As I just said, it's the defense. If your build doesn't have limitless takeoff in 2K23, it's pretty much useless in the paint. I almost see them removing this badge as a red flag, since their solution is removing limitless takeoff instead of just buffing the defense. Today we're actually here to talk about a YouTuber by the name of Uncle Demi. Now he is a partner with NBA 2K, he's part of the Next Maker program. He's actually the leader of Next Maker. So that means he's actually involved in the fine-tuning process of NBA 2K24, and he's definitely a reliable source because he's played some parts of the game. Who knows what parts of the game he's actually played, but he'd be under all kinds of NBA contracts, so he wouldn't be able to leak anything that 2K is not allowing him to leak, and he also probably wouldn't be allowed to say anything that's not true, or why would he say something that's not true if he's already part of this program? But either way, he made a full video about the myplayer builder, and that's his big news, because obviously the myplayer builder kind of determines not necessarily the gameplay, but how the game is actually played, and most importantly, it definitely determines how we spend our money on VC and how many builds we'll have to create and things of that nature. But either way, let's check out a few clips from Uncle Demi's video. But before we do, if you guys could hit that like and subscribe button, I'd really appreciate it.
I feel like the builds themselves are the heart and soul of the game. Okay, animations come and go, all that type of deal, but people find ways to get cheesy or find an animation to get dominant. But you look at right now, as you see 2K20, the reason why I say 2K20 is just such a beautiful game is because, in my opinion, there were so many different builds. There was just so much versatility, right? You had sharpshooters, right? Remember that pure green pie chart? Yeah, I remember that, right? Pure green at that time was called the BP build. We had pure playmakers. Remember, shout out to the poor boy Sin. He had the 6'7", pure playmaker. And again, everybody had different pie chart that made them understand, like, there was multiple ways to be able to win and be successful, okay?
I kind of agree with him here, and I kind of disagree with. Yes, I think it was a lot better when we were role players and everyone had a different build because we all had a different role to play. There was definitely still a few builds that were way more overpowered than any other build, and it's always going to be like that until 2K can make a proper balanced game, and that comes down to the gameplay. And to do that, you need to buff the defense. I'm not sure if it was 2K20 or 2K19 where everyone pretty much either had a stretch big or the two-way slashing playmaker, and they were the two comp builds. And yes, like he said, a lot of people had different builds because it was more fun, and they were still usable. The other builds were still usable, but those two builds were still way better than any other build because there just wasn't enough perimeter defense to possibly guard a stretch big. So that's a gameplay issue, but then the builder made those two-way slashing playmakers just OP. We got contact dunks, we got a pretty high three-point shot, we got speed boosting, and we had lockdown defense. We're a two-way. It was by far just the most OP build in terms of the builder. So they don't just need to balance the builder, but they also need to balance the gameplay.
First and foremost, I just want to say, like, I don't know nothing about the builder, right? So I know people are going to think that, I have inside sight, whatever, but the reality is, no, I do not know nothing about the builder. But I'm able to use text clues, right? I'm able to use the knowledge that I do have and just know the cycle of the game to understand a few things. Right?
Now, I'm going to call cap here because the game comes out in almost a month, and we have heard nothing officially from 2K, and even a company that is as out of touch as NBA 2K. There's no possible way they're going to release a finished game for $140 or however much they're charging without receiving any community feedback on any of their gameplay and park ideas, which is their biggest game mode. It kind of seems that like the culture of 2K as a development team is they're kind of anti-consumer at this point. You know, we've just been harassing them, bullying them for years. Whatever they do right, like they can't do anything right, okay? It's never gonna be good enough. We're always gonna find faults in the game. Some people don't like something, some people aren't gonna like others. So I think what they're doing is they may be getting Uncle Demi to just release information and then see how the community reacts. And then if it's good, they can include it. But if it's bad, that means that 2K isn't saying, oh, this is how the gameplay builder is going to be. Because if they say, oh, this is how the gameplay builder is going to be, and people are like, nah, screw that, I don't want the game, then that's obviously going to impact their sales, and they're obviously not going to want to do that. So releasing some leaks and spoilers and just giving out ideas through just content creators instead of actual developers and people that are employed by 2K on the development side that are more official, it could be a good move for 2K's behalf.
First and foremost, one thing we definitely have to understand is that 2K's never going back to pie charts for obvious reasons. It's like once you give an individual free reign to make their build any way you want, it's going to be extremely hard to go back, right? So, you know, again, when you're talking about like pushing forward advancement and just a game, it's very hard to go back on something. So I'm going to go ahead and say like I'm pretty sure it's still going to be open where you can change every attribute that you want, okay? So
it's not hard to go back. 2K has gone back on so many things over the years. They removed the way that Rec used to be. They completely took out Rec and then they added it back. 2K has added and removed certain features over and over again. It's not hard to do, but they won't do it because of money. Let's just keep it 100, okay? Don't try sugarcoat it.
Oh, and then of course in 2K23, it was the 6.9s and the 6.1s, but also we understood or we found out, which again, this one actually took a little bit more time, but we found out that, you know, like speed with ball, only thing you need was a 75, and pass accuracy, all you need was a 75, because, you know, you can just do basic or LeBron James. You know, speed, you didn't even need speed, right? So speed, people were just getting 75 speed, and then just max out the acceleration. You know, strength didn't really have much of a factor. So, I mean, with all those things being said, it's going to be very difficult, you know, to catch everything, right? But, you know, for 24, we can be rest assured that the issues we had in 23 is definitely going to be addressed, right? So be rest assured that, you know, you ain't going to, 75 speed ball is not going to, like, come on, it's not going to cut it, right? You're going to have to actually have a fast speed with ball to be able to get what you need to get. Same thing for your pass accuracy. You're going to have your pass accuracy up. No more of those 6'9" type demigod builds. I don't know how that's going to be worked. Like, you know, I'm thinking that I don't know. It's up for debate about how you can make it. I still feel like tall ball handlers, you know, should have a place in the game. I still feel like, you know, like the poor boy Sins and those type of guys that really figured out a way to have a low 3 ball but still have a high ball handle and cook up. I like that, right? So I'm thinking like being able to have maybe animation tiers at a higher tier to be able to push up to get. So you're going to have speed with ball. You're going to have a high ball handle. As you get taller, those points way more. You know, also expect 6'1" not to be able to get everything again, like dunking and that type of deal. So again, I feel like 6'1", you know, it's going to be impossible to be able to get like a 90-something driving dunk.
At the end of the day, tall ball handlers are always going to be the demigod build. It's been like that every single year. The tallest you can make a speed boosting build is always going to be the most demigod type build. Because if you can have a player that can speed boost, you're always going to have a decent enough 3. Eventually, 2K always breaks shooting. They always make it easier for all the bots. And then eventually everyone can shoot on every build. It's happened every single year. It's never changed since I've started playing, which is like 2K15. And even with the 6'1s, if you look at like 2K17, they were never a problem. Even though you could have like a 6'1 slasher, the midget slashers, they had good 3 balls and they just had, they could get mad contact dunks, alright? But like the paint defense was good enough where like they weren't a serious build. If you had a good paint defender, then they're not really dunking on everyone. Like, yeah, they could dunk. But if you had a center standing in the paint, like he might get put on a poster, but if he's not getting put on a poster, he's not getting some cheesy animation where it just moves them out of the way. Once again, the fix to the 6'1s is not by nerfing their stats, because if you nerf 6'1s, then that's just going to have a carryover effect to all the higher builds, and then once you get to the higher, like the taller builds, then they're not going to have any stats at all. All you had to do this year was just add more cutoff animations. If you added the cutoff animations, it would make nerf 6'1s and it nerf everyone so much that you wouldn't even need to nerf quick drops. All you'd have to do is just actually play defense. You wouldn't just get moved out of the way or just not be able to body people up. Now he's also saying that all attributes are gonna matter. Strength is gonna matter. Strength has never mattered. Every single year I've been playing this game, they're gonna say, oh yeah, next year strength is gonna matter. It's never mattered. Okay, if they make speed with ball matter more than acceleration, then what is acceleration good for? Off ball movement? Like, who wants that? You know, no one really cares about it, so it's not gonna make a difference. All you're doing is people that put all their attributes into acceleration, now they're putting their attributes into speed with ball. Wow, what a fix. All you have to do is change one thing. What a huge difference to that.
And have all the freedom to do whatever you want. In my opinion, I feel like you should be like this, right? And again, just let me know how you feel. But I feel like the builder should be something to where it's like, put you back in pie charts. right? I just feel like that. I just feel like the community, you know, they want to be lied to in that aspect. They want to be like, yo, like, yeah, I want the freedom to make make my build any way I want. But at the end of the day, I think people will be better with role players. And I feel like role players not only will put different type of play styles on the park, but it also make it more competitive. It'll bring more of the strategicness to the game. You know, having, you know, lockdowns and defense overpowered, along with overpowered offense. I feel like then that would just be, hey, still grinding still, you know, type of deal. So that's kind of how I look at it. But again, it's really up to, you know, the community to decide on that. But I guarantee you this, and I want everybody to, you know, put this in here. If the game comes back where it's something like this game that you see up here, where the builds are very versatile. When you step on the park, you have, you know, you can be in the park for a whole hour and you've seen 17, 18 different builds. You've seen people ranging from 6'1" to 7 foot. Right now, everybody's 6'9". I don't see how people can complain about that. But you know, the community will find a way to complain about stuff. But in my opinion, I feel like that would just be refreshing, right? To step on the court and be like, you actually gotta look at the play card. Like, oh snap, what's this do? 6'4"? What is this build? Like, okay, cool. Oh, what does this do? 7 feet? All right, cool. 6'9". Is this do a slasher? Shooter? Like, you know, it's just like that. Instead of knowing like, yo, everybody can do everything. It gets, you know, it's like rinse and repeat, gets stale. So, but that's what I'm thinking about with the builder. Just use like comments.
Now, I actually agree with him here as well. I think that if everyone had a different build, it would be pretty good. Everyone is running around with 6'9" right now. There are people with different builds, but like they're not really comp, and everyone can do everything. And every single year, good players are going to be able to do everything. If you find a good guard, then they're going to be able to clamp you up as long as defense animations are in the game and you can actually play defense. You know, they might not be getting 50 steals a game like a lockdown, but they're still going to be able to clamp you up if they're good. You know, they're still going to be able to cook you if they can cook you. They don't need a high dunk if they can get to the ring and like the animations aren't super slow. Like this year, if you don't have quick drops like Silver, like you can cook people, get the easiest lane, and then all of a sudden you just go 1 mile an hour. You know, you slow all the way down, you take your foot all the way off the gas, and you just get blocked. Okay, if they remove stupid stuff like that, then the good players are always going to be able to cook up and do everything. Even the good centers, they're always going to find a way to shoot with a low 3 ball and do everything. But so I think the builder doesn't matter as much as the gameplay. That's what people got to realize, okay? But it is important, I think, for everyone else. Obviously, as I said, the go-to players are going to be able to do everything. If they can make the builder so my players just aren't overall demigods, I don't know how they're going to do that without just making every build absolutely terrible, and instead revert us back into certain roles so everyone has like different builds. And as he said, you have to kind of check what builds you're actually playing, because it did make it more fun. Like especially I think pure archetypes, honestly, we hated it when it was there. We didn't hate it, but we were like, yo, double archetypes would be sick. And then we got triple archetypes with the pie charts and things of that nature. But the more specialized you are, the more it's like, oh, okay, I'm playing a sharpshooter. He's going to be good at shooting because he has the best stats at shooting. He is a 99 overall shooter, like 99 3-point shot, 99 midi, all that kind of stuff. But he doesn't have good ball handling unless he's good at the game and he can still find ways to cook up. Then I just got to lock down on the 3, and if I don't lock down on the 3, you know, it's gonna be tough for me. But he may not be that good at driving, so I can kind of allow him to drive, or a slasher is the opposite, obviously, and things of that nature. So I think that does add elements of fun, in my opinion. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I really do appreciate it, and I'm out. See ya.